Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. All right, time now to catch up with BYU running back LJ Martin. Now, I don't know who BYU is going to start at quarterback when they take on Portland State. Is it 43 days away from today? So getting ever so close. And training camp opens up like in a week and a half, it feels like. I actually think it is a week and a half, but nonetheless, looking forward to it. And whoever ends up as BYU starting quarterback is going to need some time to get adjusted to, live reps. It's part of the calculus that football requires. Well, one thing that can help a new quarterback really feel more comfortable in the backfield is having an absolutely electric offensive line, opening holes for a running back to make mincemeat of opposing defenses. Well, BYU has a guy that I believe is what I call a thoroughbred running back. It's just a matter of time, I think, before we see him really break out. And the hope is he does that this fall, and that's LJ Martin. Former four-star prospect out of El Paso, Texas. And really the only thing that's held him back so far in his 2 years at BYU have been injuries. That's a simple fact of life. He got injured against SMU last year, and the simple fact of it was, he mentioned, it was a high ankle sprain. And every time he tried to seemingly come back from that injury last year, really until the bowl game against Colorado, he just kind of re-aggravated it and kind of found himself right back where he started after the SMU game. Well, we saw what happened against Colorado. He had a breakout performance, showed everything you want in terms of just the tantalizing intrigue that says, hey, this kid could be really, really special for the BYU football program. Well, I had a chance to catch up with him at Big 12 Media Days last week and talk about that very thing, as well as what he's been working on this offseason, what he hopes to accomplish in his junior season at BYU, and a whole lot more. And you'll hear it right now, right here on Locked On Cougars.
You had a breakout game, it felt like, in that bowl game last year. Do you feel like that was kind of parlayed you into a big offseason, in your opinion?
I would say no matter what the outcome of that bowl game was, I was just going to come back and try to be the best I can, just try to work as hard as I could just to be the best player I can be this year. So, I mean, it was great to have a great showing in that bowl game, but it really didn't matter in the outcome of things because no matter what, we was going to get back to work and just try to go out there and play.
You dealt with injuries last year. You feeling 100% finally and ready to rock and roll this year?
Yeah, it's been nice to have a full offseason injury-free, just being able to fully, just truly work on just getting better at my game instead of trying to rehab and stuff. So it's been good.
What did you work on the most?
I would say probably speed. And,
okay.
I mean, that's always a big thing.
Yeah.
But I've been working on everything, speed, strength. So, you could get better in all kinds of ways. So I would say it was those.
When it comes to working on speed, do you have a speed coach that you work with, or is it just mainly just with the training staff at BYU?
Yeah, it's the training staff at BYU.
Okay.
So Skylar Main, Coach Phillips,
yeah.
Coach Tupou, all those strength guys. I mean, they do all our strength things and our running, trying to get us faster. And, I mean, we've seen results, so pretty excited.
Everything I've heard is they are an intense bunch, but they get results. Would that be the way you evaluate it as well?
Yeah, I would say it's an intense bunch, but it's not over the top. You still tell that they care for you and they really want the best for you. So it just kind of gives me that respect for them, just to fully trust them and feel like they know what they're doing.
What is it that they push you guys the most on?
I would say it's probably being just being in the moment and also just attacking the workouts.
Okay.
They make sure we're out there for each other and we're not being selfish, right? Because so we're not allowed to have our hands on hips, so they make sure we don't do that. And we're resting the right way, just little things, just so that way when we're in the game, we're able to do all the little things.
When it comes to this upcoming season, what are you looking forward to the most?
Just being able to play football.
Okay.
That's always the biggest.
You just love playing.
Yeah, it's just a fun game. I was taking it for granted a little bit, and then just last year getting injured and stuff, missing a couple games, it just kind of opened my eyes, and it's like being able to play is just a blessing. It's just real fun just to be out there.
When it's taken away, obviously, you're like, hey, I need to get back out there and play.
Yeah.
When it comes to this upcoming season, you guys are so close to the Big 12 title game a year ago. What's going to take, in your opinion, to break through?
We just got to continue just to do the little things. We were just a couple plays away last year, so it's just going out there, kind of replicating like we did at the beginning of the season, just going out there, competing every day and just giving it our all. And, it's just gonna take us where it wants to go, because sometimes crazy things just happen, and, we just got to go out there and roll with it. No matter what happens, just continue to try our best, and we'll be all right.
I asked Isaiah this question, but what, in your opinion, is the difference between this year's team than teams in the past, in your opinion?
This year's team, I would say, I feel like just different types of leaders now.
Okay.
You know, last year I feel like it was Connor and Tyler Batty, and they did great jobs and stuff like that. But I feel like this year it's a little bit more like a relaxed bunch.
Okay.
I would say. You know, it's not as intense as they were, but I feel like we're still pretty intense, and we're able just to get things done, but we're also able to do it kind of like, I feel like it's more like replicating Kalani's kind of thing. So I would say it's like that.
You feel like you've stepped into a leadership role in your own right?
I would say so. Just trying to be more personable with the guys and just trying to kind of understand where they come from and just being a friend to them, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's just what some people need just to get going. So I feel like I've been able to do that for a couple of guys and just kind of get us going.
As you look forward here, this offense obviously had a really good year a season ago. What's going to take, in your opinion, to break through and go to that next level?
Just continuing to try to get better. You know, just our execution got to be on point, and just trusting our coaches just to put us in the right positions and just doing our job. As long as we do our job, just trusting the other guys around us, we'll be all right.
Do you have any personal goals for yourself?
Just to win. That's my
just
personal
win.
goal. Yep, just win every rep, no matter what it is, no matter what I'm doing. Just try to win the rep, and that's my only goal.
There you go, LJ Martin. And once again, I do think that if he lives up to his potential and his billing this year, because you mentioned the fact he's finally having a healthy offseason for the first time in his BYU career. If he pulls that off and he goes maybe for 1,000 yards this year, BYU's offense is going to be, I think, in a pretty good place, because he was dynamite at multiple times during both his freshman and sophomore campaigns. And if it weren't for injuries, I think we would have seen his absolute electricity come more to the forefront than it already has. Well, the hope is that this is the year that he really breaks out. He goes out there, shows everybody what he's made of, and gets to have the monster season, I think, in his heart of hearts, he hopes to have for this BYU offense. It would give McKay Hillstead, Trayson Bourget, or Bear Bachmeyer, whoever is at quarterback for BYU, a whole lot less heartburn knowing that they've got a stud running back wearing the number 4 right next to them, and really capable of shouldering a big load, as they don't have to have the entire offense on their shoulders. The other thing about it is Jake Retzlaff never was a guy that had the entire offense on his shoulders last year. They used kind of smoke and mirrors in some ways to take some of that heat off of him. The running game was doing just enough, it felt like, a year ago. LJ was a big part of that. But the hope is this year that LJ finally gets to break out, show what he's capable of. And if he does that, BYU is going to be infinitely tougher to beat than they ever thought they were before, because I really think that LJ is poised to have some really, really memorable performances this year. And let's be honest, in recent memory, BYU's been spoiled with some standout running backs, the Jamaal Williams, the Tyler Allgeiers, not to mention guys that don't necessarily have that top tier billing, but I look at Squally Canada, etc. They've had some Lopini Katoa. They've had some really, really good backs in recent memory. And you can go back even as far as Harvey Unga, even Curtis Brown back in the early 2000s. I think that LJ Martin is right in that same pantheon of some of those great running backs of recent memory. And the hope is that this year is that year that he goes out there and shows everybody, yeah, I'm that guy. We'll see how it all shakes out, but I'm excited to see how he does. And a big thank you to him for taking some time to catch up with me at Big 12 Media Days.